Beautiful people, this is Lavinia from Pilates and Mindfulness, and today while we were practicing Pilates, I was explaining the breathing, and I realized a lot of people do not know how to breathe properly, correctly. So I have a bag here. This bag, we have to use our imagination. This bag is my left or my right lung. So the lungs are very flexible. They can extend their capacity, and the reason when we exercise, when I say do a full breath, means that the lungs fill with air to the maximum capacity, even the bottom side of the lungs. And then once the lung has enough power to push over the diaphragm, which separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity, the diaphragm pushes over the abdominal and organs, so the organs can do their job. So there is a movement that is initiated once the lungs are filled with air at the bottom part. But if our breathing is shallow and we just breathe through the clavicular part, only this part here is filling with air. Like in a minute, I will do the full demo, or sometimes shallow to half of the capacity. The lungs would not have the power to push the diaphragm down. So all this part is basically inexistent. So when I say count your breathing, do a conscious breathing, and let's count to six, meaning like, let's see, for our back here, what means to feel and count mentally to six. Okay, so there you go. So it's almost filled up, but I think I can go a little bit more. And if I do it vigorously, then I exhale for six. So it goes in between power breathing. So breathing consciously to six, it will fill the lungs with air, especially at the bottom part that is not properly used, and that this bottom part forces the diaphragm to move up and down, which is the normal move of the diaphragm to massage the internal organs and to create this peristaltical move, I think it's called. So everybody's doing their jobs, but if we don't take enough air and our breathing is shallow, we keep functioning at the, I don't know, one third of our capacity, and it's also a way not to enjoy life. The more we breathe consciously and we realize that we have to check in with our breath, with our breathing, it's a way to bring breath to normal by repetition. This is in practice, the breath will know the normal pattern, but it's used for a long time in a wrong pattern. So we have to change the pattern by consciously, intentionally, and with repetitions, like maybe once or twice a day. Another way that the lungs are obstructed is the way we sit. So imagine that we sit with the shoulders forward, like on our devices, on our desk, computer, watching TV, eating, driving, sitting. So it's always like the shoulders go forward and we hunch the back here, so don't leave too much room to the lungs. So we need to move the shoulders backwards to expand the chest and the collarbone, so to let the lungs fill with air, because otherwise if we obstruct the lungs with our bones that are hunched over, they don't go to the maximum capacity either. So the exercises that we do at the beginning of each practice are mostly to open up the collarbone, to raise the spine, to expand, to allow the lungs to expand laterally, but also at the bottom. So to push sideways, but also at the bottom. So to activate the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscle as well. They all learn the memory like you would do the repetition in the gym. Every repetition, the more you do it, the muscle would know the memory. So conscious breathing 6 times, and I will just do it on the mat here. You can practice twice a day, 3 times a day. It will only take a couple of minutes, but it's like changing your life. So one hand, the right hand usually goes at the navel level, and the other one, you can place the other one on the chest level at the heart level, but for now, just I'll have it on the side so you can see the movement here. So let's just do it. I have to speak, but when you practice, just try to do it on the nose. So use the nostrils and mentally count to 6 for inhalation and 6 for exhalation. So what you'll notice is like if the lungs fill with air, they push down, they lift the chest up, but they also lift the abdominal muscle up, and your head is going up and down. As you exhale, the first air goes like the diaphragm pushes up and helps the air out of the lungs. So you will feel the palm going down. So just notice for I'm going to do 2 inhalation and exhalation, counting to 6. Okay. Now it's the expansion of the lungs sideways because there are no obstructions. My shoulders are down, but it's also towards the diaphragm, towards the bottom of the lungs, especially those of you who have respiratory diseases and asthma. This part is hardly used, so the more you do it, the more it will help you improve. The sport and the exercises will help correct these imbalances because it forces the cardio uh, muscle, the muscle of the heart and the lungs to work together, pumping more oxygen. So another way is to do it sitting. You have one hand on the belly and another one on the chest. Again, for this purpose, I will just leave the hand on the side, but as you breathe to 6, you will notice this hand rising up and down. I can place my hand here and let's do this. At the beginning, you need to feel this because you need to connect with your body. You close your eyes so you know you follow the breath as it comes through the nostrils, goes through the back of the throat, fills the lungs up, and you know it pushes through the diaphragm because it lifts your hands up and down. So you do this consciously, and you start with 6 conscious breathing, and then you can go to 10. Maybe you can go twice a day, maybe before you go to bed or when you wake up, maybe when you take a break at the office, maybe when you go for a walk. You can do this while you walk as well. You can feel it. You can place your hand on the tummy and you can feel this. So the more you do it, the muscle will learn the correct memory, and also like the corrective exercises here to lift the chest up and to allow the lungs to expand instead of sitting and having the shoulders inwards. So it's always correcting the posture and correcting also the alignment, the breathing, and doing the exercises. I also invite you to check our YouTube channel. We have a lot of exercises for beginners and intermediate and advanced in both Romanian and English. And you can do the beginning exercises are all about the chest expansion, the correcting the imbalances at the cervical part. So check it out. Invite your friends to practice with us. Practice, practice, practice. Every breath, it's a conscious breath, it makes it better. So give me your feedback, your comments on the YouTube space. Please practice with us. We have daily sessions, and thank you for watching. Again, this is Lavinia from Pilates and Mindfulness. Thank you for watching today.